Hey, what is happening, YouTube? Sinister here, and I just want to tell share my thoughts about how this gaming generation has been the worst ever. It just seems like lately, it's just things just keep going downhill. When it comes to the gaming community and stuff, and the gaming industry as a whole, it's like it just seems like this whole generation now is obsessed about graphics more than about gameplay. And now, because of course, another worst thing about this generation, you're getting games that are incomplete, broken, forcing you to buy DLC and season passes at launch on day one, knowing games don't work well on day one, that have to be patched up and stuff like that, and people, feeling the burn from these, gaming communities, stuff like that. It's like, I was like, yo, think about it. Who has the money? You do. Who has the power to vote with a wallet? You do. It just seems like some of y'all just let these gaming companies keep screwing you out of your hard-earned money for games that are incomplete and broken. But yeah, it's like, oh, there's nothing. It'll fix up, blah, blah, blah. It's like, game. Get me wrong, there've been some terrible launches. Prime fact, Street Fighter 5. The reason I gave that is because ever since that came out, guess what? It had server issues, no story, like there was lack of content because it wasn't in there from the beginning. And over time, you had to sit there and wait for them to add all those modes that were missing. Yeah, because the main reason Capcom did it, because they want that game to be tournament ready. Instead, I was like, okay, what about the casual consumer who are not into those tournaments thing? They want to enjoy a good game, like playing the story mode with getting used to all the characters and stuff and having fun with it. That was thrown out the window. And I also wanted to share is like, there were faults with all three systems. I'm talking about you, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Because there's good things about you guys, but but there's also the other side. Y'all made some bad moves and stuff like that over the year, ever since the console's been released. I'm gonna start with you, Nintendo, since the Wii U came out first. Not many people wasn't liking that gamepad. I mean, because it's linked to everything. And like in some games, I like using the Pro controller, stuff like that. Like especially on games like Bayonetta 2, but you can't do it because you have to use that that whack ass gamepad. I mean, it's dog shit. I mean, why? Don't get me wrong. There's some games on there I like. The Mario Kart, Smash Bros. Of course the Zelda game. That's about it. But yet, ever since then, you've been a ghost of your former self. And look, and next year, you about to have your successor come out, the Switch. Formerly the NS. Now you can call it the NS. And stuff like that. Because, because lately, I've been appearing on the podcast, on a weekly basis ever since they made the show that of the NS. Because before then, it was nothing but rumors. It's been rumor cities up until they revealed it. I said, okay. I see some ups and downs. I was like, all right, I see Nintendo start to show something. Stuff like that. I said, now, come January 12th, there's going to be a presentation that's going to announce everything about it. What the price, what games will probably release at launch, so on and so forth. But as far as the Wii goes, dead and gone. You might as well retire to the graveyard with the other consoles and stuff like that. Now, moving on to Microsoft. Yeah, ever since November 2013, you released, before then you had that launch trailer, that terrible launch trailer. Up until it released, then you had all these restrictions. I said, that's a bad move. Of course, that was not Matrick. That was his boneheaded decisions. And, because of his boneheaded decisions, that's why he got bounced from the company. And so now we got a great guy in Phil Spencer to clean up his mess and move the Microsoft forward. Ever since then, Microsoft's been on a roll about making better moves. Trying to redeem themselves. Like, hey, like the fans that got burned, he's trying to get those fans back. It's like, hey, we know what we did. And it's like, yeah, we reversed it. But hey, I'm here, to save the Xbox brand, trying to bring you guys back. And because we make better decisions. Hey, like the stuff that we had before. Hey, we did away from all that. We're moving a totally different direction. We made great moves. Heck, the moves they made in especially the E3. I mean, heck, I mean, you showed amazing content, and in two of the E3s that they appeared in. I was like, hey, that's great and stuff like that. And some of the games that they showed, and I mean, this past E3 was even better. I mean, because now they released the Xbox Slim, you got Xbox Play Everywhere. It's like, hey, you buy a game from us, it's like you got it like on the original system or the S or the upcoming Scorpio. You can also get that PC version for free. It's like, hey, that's amazing. It was even more amazing is the backwards compatibility. Those games you had on 360, well, you can play it on the one. Game for free. It's like, hey, if you have the physical copy, you can just pop it in the X1. There you go. I mean, that's amazing and stuff like that. And it just, then I'm moving on to Sony. You had amazing launch too. And it just, excuse me. Excuse me on that. Yeah, you had amazing launch. Because, I mean, yeah, basically you took advantage of, like, because of Microsoft's mishap. Your console came out $100 cheaper than what the Xbox was sold for. I mean, X1 was $500 at launch. You guys were $400 at launch. Excuse me again. Anyway, yeah, I mean, heck, you guys have been on a roll since then. Like, up until I say last year, up until 2016, y'all been slipping. And it's like, hey, what's going on? It's like it seems like some of these decision making is like suffering a bit. I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, recently you released your PlayStation Slim because you're trying to compete with Xbox version of the Slim or Xbox One S. And basically, I was like, it's smaller, it's cheaper, but yet it's a downgrade from the original unit. It's like, there's no reason for you to release the Slim. No reason at all. Your original unit is doing fine on its own. I mean, yeah, I know you understand you trying to save money by, stripping away certain features just to save, cost and stuff like that. Of course, that's usual business, but I get that. But you're going the totally wrong way. And now that you got the Pro coming out in November 10th to be exact, it's got almost the same thing that the Xbox Slim has, minus the Ultra Blu-ray players. Like they feel like, hey, we don't need it, because people streaming movies and stuff like that, so we don't need it in there. It's like, okay, but some people don't like going that streaming route. Some people like have the physical copy and just it's a boom. And it's like, oh, we have an Ultra Blu-ray player also, but it's not in the system. You got to buy that whole unit separately, which is $400 by itself or even higher. I was like, yeah, if you were kind of feeling the burn on that, it's like, why? And another thing that, some Sony consumers weren't happy about is the price of PSN going up to $10, which is about the same price as Xbox Live. I was like, man, why? I mean, because further on discussions, like, okay, I know the reason why, because basically, look, Sony's gaming division, that's where all the money is at. All the money is on the survivability of their gaming division, the PlayStation brand. Yeah, because recently, because the movie division is suffering, their music division is suffering, even the electronics division is suffering. So basically, they had to dip in the pockets of the gaming division just to keep those other divisions afloat, because so like, speaking of the movie division, of course, Sony took a massive, I do mean a massive hit when Ghostbusters came out. I mean, they lost $78 million. $78 million. I mean, so basically, yeah, they had to go to the gaming division just to recoup the losses. And of course, now that also this month, Sony released the VR. It's just like, yeah, they got the VR, they got some games, at launch, like Batman VR. They also got like demos and stuff like that. It's like, but the thing is, like, you have to have the move with it. I was like, okay, you bring something that was on the PS3, motion controls that failed because basically Sony and Microsoft are trying to copy what Nintendo did with the Wii and that whole motion control stuff. The PlayStation Move and the Kinect were total fails on both. It was like you try to release games for them, but they were terrible. That's probably like one advantage that Nintendo did. However, moving on, the thing with the VR is that, yeah, because funny enough, I've seen videos on YouTube where, the VR set, you can hook it up to your X1, you can hook it up to your PC. Basically, it's like stuff that has like an HDMI port you can plug it into. But it's not going to look as great. I mean, yeah, the VR is selling hot right now, but I say over time, it's going to be sitting in somebody's closet collecting dust, or probably sold on eBay or Craigslist, or traded in the game stuff. Just, people just want, hey, I'm done with this. I'm moving on, and there's nothing else with this. Like, it just, why should I have this in my collection? I don't use it anymore. I mean, what else you can do with it? Stuff like that. Um, that's what I'm saying about, the goods and the bads about all three companies. But basically, out of the three, the Wii is the worst one of the three, because basically they're suffering bad because, their lack of third party support, which is now the Switch. Hopefully they'll probably explain in January, but what third party companies, they're trying to align themselves with, because back then, like, especially in the 80s and 90s, Nintendo bullied the industry. No, I mean bullied, like, hey, they bully these third party companies, like, hey, you make games strictly for us, not the competition. That's the reason why, systems like the Master System didn't sell that great, because even though it was graphically superior, but they didn't have that third party support like Nintendo did. Up until the 90s, okay, but the antitrust law, then, Nintendo had to move back on those, so that way those publishers, hey, we don't have to make games for the other systems, because, hey, we need to make some money here, and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, but like I said, that was like early generations, when it was great then. But up until now, about all three systems, I mean, yeah, with the X1 and with the PlayStation 4, you buy these games, you gotta put it in, and you have to sit there and wait for almost eons for these games to install in your system. You're sitting there taking up chunks of your space. I was like, oh my goodness. But lucky on the X1, you can get an external hard drive for it with a lot of space. It's like, boom, you're good. It's like, hey, you don't have to worry about taking all these games off your system just to make rooms for the new ones, and so on and so forth. Unlike with Sony, with those who have like the 500 gigs, yeah, games like that stuff like you install or download, yeah, it's gonna take up chunks of your space. And you gotta sit there and sacrifice, like, oh, I gotta take this off just to put this one on. The only thing you can do with external hard drives is back up your game saves, so that way you won't lose your progress. But at the same time, you're still losing space. And you have to go out and get yourself like an internal hard drive with space, like, like a couple of terabytes or 310, how much, whatever you see fit, just to get more room. That way you don't keep sacrificing space and stuff like that. And another thing, for consumers, well, like I mentioned earlier, like, you guys have the power of the wallet. You got to tell these gaming companies, hey, look, we're tired of you, releasing all these terrible games and stuff like that. It's like, games are coming out incomplete. You force us to buy the DLC. Some of that stuff should have been on the game in the first place. And you got these microtransactions trying to make, trying to get more people. Like, so wait a minute. Why should I pay $60 for a game that's incomplete, that's broken, glitchy, needs a day one patch? And, you're trying to make me buy a season pass for it. DLC is like, why? You're spending even more money than it's worth. And then another thing is like, hey, it's like release a regular edition of that game, but knowing down the line, few months down the line, you're probably gonna re-release that game again with all the DLC with it, like something like a Game of the Year edition. It's like, I was like, you know what? There's some reasons. Like, of course, myself, I'm guilty of buying some games on day one, and stuff like that. And then I know it's like, hey, they're re-releasing it again. It's like, oh, all the DLC that you had to buy before. So, well, this is all right here. So, hey, you get, here's the game fully complete with all the DLC that you're missing. I was like, that's why I'm just, I'm starting to wait. It's like some of these games that started coming out. I mean, so far, there were some big releases this month. Of course, I got the three, the Battlefields, the Gears of War 4, Mafia 3, just to name a few. I mean, so far I'm enjoying them, stuff like that. But just some games you just are just not worth buying on day one. I just say, I should just I just the wait, because you can get stuff like that later on because a better version is gonna come out anyway, stuff like that. Of course, you probably see the digital version, with the whole bundle and stuff like that. I mean, I suggest like wait. I know it's like a AAA title that you really want. I suggest you wait because you never know what you're gonna get with it, because you buy day one. That sucker's probably glitchy, broken, not complete. You have to sit there and wait, download a patch for it just to make sure it works and stuff like that. That's why I have problem with these greedy companies today, like EA, Ubisoft, and Konami and stuff like that. And I was like, it's just greedy. I was like, it's all about, they just want your hard-earned money. That's all about. It's just nothing but greed and stuff like that. And, just oh, we give the fans, hey, y'all want more power? Hey, we give it to you. Hey, why should release this game complete and stuff like that? Hey, they don't care. They wouldn't know and stuff like that. By the time you give it again, you got some people in there like, oh, it's nothing, and then sit there want to damage control to defend them. I was like, why? You want to waste your money? So be it. But for me, I was like, no, man, I'm thinking more of my wallet. Just I mean, there's some games I don't want that damn bad. You know what I'm saying? I was just that's just the thing about that. Of course, for me, come on, I'm a seasoned gamer. You know, I started in the era, with the 2600 and arcades. I mean, that was my generation. I started with. It was fun and simple back then. We didn't have like some of those. I mean, the only major setback, of course, there was the gaming crash. Of course, I wasn't in the United States at the time that happened, but still, I mean, I was around during that time it happened. Because as far as the worst gaming generation go, you could probably see another crash happen again. I mean, yeah, you may try to learn things from the past, but it seems like things from the past are starting to catch up to now. Just like the way this gaming industry goes. I mean, I just we just got to be careful with our wallets. I mean, you got to tell these gaming companies, like, stand up to these companies like, hey, look, we got the money, we got the power, we're paying your bills and stuff like that. I say, hey, we want good quality products, and if you want this relationship to continue, I say, hey, y'all got to start stepping up and start putting out some quality products. If not, we're not gonna buy games anymore. Because you got to think about, especially when it comes to casuals. So look, we don't want to waste our money on a bullshit product. I'm just saying. If you're not gonna do that, look, we're gonna take our money elsewhere. We probably just put our money towards something else more entertaining. Forget about y'all completely. Those companies like, hey, we gotta have those consumers, but some of those companies don't even care about the consumer. They just want that federal green. That's all they want, and stuff like that. So, uh, but the bottom line is just think with your wallet. Just think about before you start shelling out your green stuff for some that you want. Because usually some games that come on day one are not well worth it. It's just better to wait for the better version to come out that has everything with it. That way you get your complete experience and you can enjoy it and stuff like that. So anyways, this is Sinister.